Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a disassembly video for you on this little guy right here. This is the Ochs Worx Osprey, I want to say it's the EDX. Oh yeah, there it is, EDX. This is it's a weird little knife, but it's really good. Like, the action is super compelling. We are dead centered here. The action is good. No complaints there. Want to take it apart. Not that it really needs it at this stage, but I just kind of want to make sure everything's running optimally. So, we have ourselves, free spinning pivot. All right, that's a shame. Well, I'll take my T8 here on the other side, put that in place, and then give a little twistification. And we're coming loose. Not the end of the world, but definitely something they could improve. And by the way, if you're curious about any of the tools I'm using here today, go ahead and check out nickshabazz.com/tools, and you'll see all the details. Now, what we're seeing here are a bunch of screws, right? We got, screw. Anyways, anyways, moving on. Thing is, we don't need to take this screw out. We don't need to take this screw out because they don't go all the way through. There's no need to remove this inlay here at all, right? So instead, I just need to take out these 3 screws. And I suspect I need all 3 because I suspect this goes all the way through to the other side. But, so those are just the things we need to remove. So I'll take that out. And I'll take this out. And I will take this out. Okay. So there I put a little gronk on it, and it didn't want to come loose, which is implying to me that this side is fixed and this side is not. So, well, that's interesting. That one doesn't want to come loose either. Okay, well, first let me get these 2 out of the way. Sometimes you just need to give them a little more convincing. There you go. That guy fell out. That guy fell out. Now the question becomes, why is this in place? What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to get myself a driver where I have a little bit more controlled torque, right? Where I can feel a little bit better the torque I'm putting down and keep things very even, orthogonal and such. I'm going to use this little driver right here, and I think at the moment I should be able... Okay, yeah, it did break free. So that just means that there was a little bit of extra thread locker or something like that on here. No, I don't want T8, T6. These are all T8, by the way, which is a beautiful thing. It just means there was probably a little extra thread locker, or it got a little over-tightened at the factory. But either way, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be, cracking it, in half or anything. Did I really not need to? No, okay, I did, because I'm seeing there's a standoff in there. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop this guy apart. I don't believe there are any other screws that could be hiding here. So let's, okay, we're good to go. So what we're going to see here is a very straightforward knife on the inside here. We have no internal milling, which is actually surprising. It's a relatively lightweight knife, but in a lot of ways, I think the milling is external, right? Because they've milled out some metal and put in this inlay and whatnot. So, I'm not, that's not something I'm going to drag them for. Pardon me. What we see here is good old-fashioned bearings. Have ourselves a detent ball hole. Appears to be a through-and-through hole, so that's something to keep in mind. We have ourselves a relatively sharp back of the blade. This little surface right here is actually relatively sharp, and I felt that a couple of times in using the knife. And so what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to take out my set of... these are Spyderco files here. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to break that edge. I feel like this might have been something that was missed at the factory. Yeah, that's a little better. Maybe there was just a burr on there or something like that, but this was just a little much. And I'm doing my best here. It looks like, by the way, that the stop pin is engaging in here rather than on the outside there, but I just wanted to break that a little bit more. Make sure that I'm not, that burr is, well, deburred. Okay, anyways, so there's that. It's an Osprey. If I want to debird it, it would be a whole different thing. That was... I'm going to be honest, that joke was way below even my normal quality, and that's really not saying a hell of a lot, right? It has been a really long day on top of a really long week here. This is a mental health disassembly. Not that I'm disassembling my mental health, although that's kind of happened pretty naturally at the moment, but more I'm doing this because I think it'll bring me joy to do so. And so far, so good, right? But yeah. If you're realizing it's amateur hour, then, well, you're paying attention. Good job. Anyways, let's go on ahead and continue cleaning off this bearing here. Yeah, it's nice. Rolling beautifully. And here we go. That too is rolling beautifully. All right, what do we got there? Looks like, I'm trying to decide if that's gunk or just an area where the metal's less polished. Well, one way to find out is by using a Q-tip dabbed in alcohol. I think I made the Nick Shabazz. Okay, yep, it was just gunk. I think I made the plug, but nickshabazz.com/tools has a list of everything I'm using here. Okay. Go ahead and put this on here. Pivot in there, that is. I'll go ahead and I will put this around here and lubricate a little bit. Beautiful. I will drop on this this bearing here, and I'm just rotating it a little bit here so that it gathers the oil. It gathers the oil. Sounds like one of those things that would show up in one of Pete over at Cedric and Ada's more artistic videos. If you've not watched Spyderco Advocate, A Cursed Review, I think is the technical term for it, then oh my God, that is one of the strangest pieces of cinema that it exists. And I'm so very grateful that it exists. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of lubrication on the detent ball as well. At this point in time, if I rotated this, well, now I have. At this point in time, everything should be ready to go back together. By the way, take a look at this. There is an extra post here just to stiffen it a little bit above and beyond the 3 screws, which is a very nice thing. Can't argue with that. All right, so we've got that there, and I'm lifting, I'm taking the pressure off the lock bar there. That'll sometimes let everything snap into proper position, whereas it might not otherwise, so that's good. Go ahead and put a little thread locker on there, blue thread locker and a stick here, and go ahead and just tighten this down. My goal is only to lightly tighten at this point. I will, of course, probably need another screwdriver to fully tighten, but nonetheless. And then I'll go back through, and I have arrayed the screws in the order they came off the knife, so go ahead and put them back on the knife, so to speak. Well, not so to speak. That's quite directly what I'm planning to do. There's very little metaphor involved in that particular sentence. But that's okay. About to get a lap full of Loctite here, so let's make that not a thing. Is that Loctite in your lap, or are you just happy to see me? Is a very different question. Okay, here I'm going to go ahead and just surrender and drop this into its proper orientation by design, and then screw everything in from there. This is a tight little fit there. Okay, beautiful. Now we're in. And tighten. Beautiful. Okay, I don't think the pivot is tight enough right now. And in fact, I know that for a fact because the centering is bad. So let me put my finger on the other side here and tighten a little bit further. Now my centering is more or less dead on perfect. So that's good. Actually, I'm a little too tight now because the pivot is actually, the blade is favoring the other direction here. So I'm going to loosen the pivot very slightly here. And that should put us right about dead center. There is no blade play. Are all these guys screwed in? Are we done? Holy crap, we're done. Okay, we're done. That was easy. And the action on this guy remains really good, right? No complaints whatsoever there. So, there you go. Hope this has been interesting to you, and have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.